Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Political Vigilante. I'm here at the All Things Comedy Studio. This is where we record the Comedy Film Nerds podcast. You can kind of see it's cool. They have all the different shows. There's like Bill Burr's podcast, Jen Kirkman, Felipe Esparza, Bobby Lee's podcast. That's some of the other business. There's like all the tech stuff over there. So I'm here working, posting Comedy Film Nerds episodes, so I thought I wanted to do this article because I just saw this. So I did a video a couple months ago about how Google has been employed in basically a drone, an artificial intelligence drone program that the Pentagon called Project Maven. And I talked about this a couple months ago. And now a new story just came out. I found it in Yahoo Finance and by Chris Holt. It came out May 14th. And they're saying that a bunch of Google employees are talking about quitting, which is important. I'll just read this. Nearly 4,000 workers have now demanded an end to the company's participation in the Maven in a petition that also calls for Google to avoid military work in the future. This is significant, because Google runs YouTube. So Google, as we've talked about numerous times, that they demonetize. I've had a video that was demonetized talking to fans after a show in Las Vegas. Demonetized as I posted. I was talking to my producer and she says, "Oh, Graham, that happens all the time." While it's uploading, it's demonetized. So Google is really a part of the war machine, and I'm happy to see that there's some Google employees standing up. So here's what's going on. Project Maven seeks to help the military analyze drone footage faster through machine learning as the AI detects people and the objects for human review. Those who resigned from Google cited ethical concerns over the use of AI in drone operations and the company's broader involvement in political and military spheres. Google recently sponsored the Conservative Political Action Conference, for instance. Wow. So drones are pretty horrifying as it is, and now we're going to have, we're going to take what little humanity was left in the drone program. We have what's called the drone pilot who sits in a room in Nevada or somewhere in the States here at any one of these Air Force bases and calls these and flies these around almost like a video game, and then gets surveillance and in many cases also drops ordnance, bombs, rockets. So, which is pretty horrifying. And the people at Google finally said no. And this is the kind of walkout, resistance, striking that I've talked about, that Hedges talks about in Death of the Liberal Class, what it's going to take to resist this corporate state. And this is what they're doing. They sponsor the Conservative Political Action Conference. Google is doing that. So if you're a tech person and you're left-leaning and you work for one of these big corporations, do some research about where these companies are, who they're doing business with and why, and organize something like this. Because you have to make it inconvenient for them. You can have a rally on a Saturday, okay, but you're not going to stop production. If you walk out, if 4,000 employees walk out, that changes things. Some claim that Google is increasingly less transparent with employees about contentious decisions and seems less concerned about objections from staffers than it used to be. I wasn't happy just voicing my concerns internally, one employee who left told Gizmodo. The strongest possible statement I could take against this was to leave. Yeah, sometimes you got to walk out. And I understand that it's hard. You got bills to pay. You got kids or a mortgage or whatever. And I'm not sitting here saying it's easy to just walk out, man. Just quit. You know, me saying this as a guy that's self-employed. But if you can do it, it's stuff like this that you're going to have to do to resist this. Because Google isn't this cool tech company that's giving us a search engine. Now it's being used for the military. This is what they do. More opposition to this Maven project is happening. As of about a month ago, around 3,100 employees had signed the petition. Approximately 5.4% of the workforce have now voiced their concern. Yet Google, forging ahead with Maven. Noting that because the technology used in the project is open source, the military could use it regardless of the company's direct involvement. Oh, shut up. Nice excuse. Some of the employees who have resigned and the petitioners claim Maven runs contrary to Google's ethos. The mantra, "Don't be evil," has long been at the heart of Google's principles. Using an AI to bomb poor people in the Middle East because their leaders won't play ball with the petrodollar? That sounds evil. The company has insisted that the AI is not being used for combat operations. Man, shut the fuck up. I'm so tired of this Mickey Mouse corporate war doublespeak. Well, it's not used for combat operations. Hey, we just refuel the Saudi planes that bomb Yemen. You're culpable. You're culpable. I hate to break it to you. You're culpable. I just created technology that the bank robbers could use to crack a safe, but I didn't go in there and crack the safe with them. Okay, all right. Nice moral rationalization. Doesn't work. Meanwhile, AI and ethics academics who are supporting the petition also want Google to back a treaty banning autonomous weapon systems and suggested that Google's obligation extend beyond America's interests as they are tied to a global user base. It's a small article. It's buried in the Yahoo Finance section, but read it. Is the mainstream media jumping all over this and saying, what are we doing, and questioning it? Because the mainstream media used to be like a watchdog for those in power. Now it's owned by those in power. That's why it's called corporate media. The corporations bought it. It's not liberal. When you're pro-war, you're not liberal. You're not liberal. So I applaud these Google employees that have signed this petition and are walking out. And if you work anywhere else where this is happening and they're supporting the war machine, organize a walkout. Organize a protest. Get public about it. Get some interviews. Any of these Google employees, if any of you watching this are Google employees that are part of this walkout, I'd love to interview you. So email me, info@grahamelwood.com, and I'd love to know about it. I'm going to be selling the Make Gotham Great Again shirts. It's a great way to support the show. I'm going to add a Make Gotham Great Again shirt tier for the Patreon. Also, Ron Placone and I are doing leg 2 of the Progressive Comedy Tour, June 20th through the 24th. We're going to Nashville, Huntsville, Alabama, Asheville, North Carolina, Louisville, Kentucky, and Atlanta, Georgia. 5 states. So if you know of any politicians that are progressive that are running in these states and or working on any of these campaigns, please get in touch with us because we'd love to have representatives there at the live shows. We did this in Vegas and San Diego on the last tour. It was really cool. So it's a great way to support the show. All the links are at grahamelwood.com. And thank you for supporting the show and fighting Google.